I am with you, and I am speaking to you now because I saw what they tried to do when you didn't see it. I heard what they whispered in rooms you never entered. I watched the signatures, the false smiles, the plotting that dressed itself in friendly concern, and I want you to know this very moment that you are not abandoned to their schemes, you are not a victim of their private agreements, you are not helpless before their forged futures. Because I am the one who writes your story and no hand that is not mine can take the pen from me, and I am telling you plainly, a shocking arrest is about to happen, not to terrify you, but to set a boundary and a sign, because they tried to take your entire future, and I will not allow the theft of what I planted in you before you took your first breath. So hear me and do not skip this. Keep your eyes steady and your spirit calm. For justice is moving like wind you cannot see, but you will soon feel against your skin, the way a storm announces itself first as a pressure in the air, then as a breath, then as a voice of thunder. I am unraveling conversations that were woven against you. I am exposing the knots. I am pulling the loose threads until the whole cloth of their deception falls in tatters at their feet, and when it falls, it will not fall quietly, it will be witnessed, it will be recorded, it will be undeniable, for I am the God who brings what is hidden into light, not to satisfy curiosity, but to stop harm from multiplying, and to teach the hearts of many that the future of the one I love is not a bargaining chip at a table of opportunists. And I love you, child. I loved you when they studied your habits to use them against you. I loved you when they analyzed your weaknesses and tried to manufacture storms. I loved you when you questioned your worth and they fed your doubt because it made you easier to move. But I have made you unmovable today. I have set you like a cornerstone. And those who bruise themselves against you will wonder why their strength failed and your peace remained. They wrote letters to unmake your steps. They knocked on doors with poison news. They rehearsed lines in front of mirrors so they could deceive with confidence. They promised one another that you would not see it coming. But I sent my angels to overhear them, and I wrote down every word, and though your ears did not receive those lines, your spirit did, which is why you felt restless without reason, why you woke at hours you do not prefer, why your heart lifted its head as if someone called your name, because I was calling you to attention, preparing you without panic, strengthening what was sagging, quieting what shook, and now I am telling you plainly that the next scene belongs to me, and in it, men and women who declared that they would define your tomorrow will meet the limits of their power, and the one who seemed invincible in their circle will become the example in mine, for I am a father and I defend what belongs to me. Do not harden your heart when you hear the news, do not clap as if this were entertainment, for I am not staging a spectacle, I am correcting a crooked line, I am limiting a harm before it multiplies, I am raising a fence where wolves have been slipping through, so let compassion remain in you even as truth prevails, let wisdom guide you even as vindication comforts you. Let gratitude guard your tongue so you do not spill what is meant to be kept sacred, and let me instruct you as a father instructs a child who is about to step into a new season with new weight and new visibility, for the future that was threatened is about to be secured openly. You wondered whether you were imagining the hostility, whether you were misreading the signs, whether you were the unreasonable one because they agreed with each other so smoothly, but I tell you, gaslight is a counterfeit of light, and counterfeits are always loud to hide their hollowness, and I brought you through that valley without letting it define you, and I preserved your kindness even when it would have been cheaper to harden, and I preserved your honesty when a small lie could have gained a large advantage, and I preserved your patience when the clock mocked you, and now I will reward trust with clarity, and clarity with movement, and movement with provision, because I do not call you to watch the door close on those who set traps and then leave you standing in the hall of delays. I open another door immediately, and it will be called restored momentum, and you will walk through it with your head lifted and your hands clean. The arrest that is coming will be sudden to them but not to me. It will be described as an accident of timing, but timing is my hand when it protects my own. It will be framed as the result of arrogance, and arrogance indeed brings a man low, but more than that, it will be the limit line I drew before they began, and I am not required to explain my lines, but I am generous with you, so I will explain. They tried to take what did not belong to them by creating false pressure, pushing you toward panic decisions, making you feel as if time was against you and only their solution could save you, but the pressure you felt was not time closing, it was my spirit leaning near, whispering, "Wait," because if you had moved when they demanded, you would have walked into a net, and nets are designed to look like paths until they are under your feet, and then they tighten and lift you away from your purpose, but you waited. And your waiting became a shield, and your shield gave me room to work. I am not merely preventing harm, I am reversing the direction of the wind, I am turning loss into harvest, I am converting confusion into a map that will guide you for years, I am transforming the words that were assigned to bury you into soil that will root you, and when I say reversal, I do not mean only emotional relief, I mean actual outcomes. Opportunities that were cancelled will reappear with better terms. Documents that were delayed will be released with favor attached. Voices that were used to slander will be compelled to testify to the truth, and those who stood back in cowardice will learn the cost of silence and the strength of courage, and you, child, will learn how much authority peace carries when it is founded on me, because peace is not passivity, peace is the presence of one greater than the storm, and I am that presence in you. I am adjusting relationships you thought you needed to exhale, and you will discover that some people do not bring you breath but take it, and I will bring you companions who do not fear your light, who do not need you smaller to feel secure, who can celebrate what I am doing in you because they love the giver more than they envy the gift, and in their company you will find ease you forgot, laughter you miss, and counsel that does not twist, and you will learn to discern early the difference between those who applaud your steps toward me and those who applaud when you step away from me, because applause without alignment is manipulation dressed as support, and I am teaching you the sound of true agreement so you do not pay again for cheap approval. Forgiveness is your portion, and protection is mine, so do not mix the two, do not attempt to protect yourself with the bitterness of unforgiveness, for bitterness is a shield that cuts the arm that holds it, but do forgive, for forgiveness frees your hands to receive, and while you forgive, I will handle protection with wisdom sharper than any strategy you could assemble. And I will place you where their hands cannot reach and their accusations cannot stick, and I will do it not because you are perfect but because you are mine, and I will teach you how to walk in this new safety without suspicion controlling you, for suspicion is a poor guard. It makes you miss gifts while guarding against ghosts, but discernment is a faithful watchman, and I am increasing your discernment now, even as you read, even as your heart warms with recognition, even as your memory lights up passages of your life that felt random but now form a pattern of my leading. Do not retaliate, for retaliation would tether you to the very thing I am breaking off your life, and you are not tethered, you are free to build without looking over your shoulder, free to plan without carving space for sabotage, free to hope without flinching, free to dream without needing permission from those who fear big skies, free to invest your energy in doors I open instead of doors others close, free to be kind without being gullible, free to be wise without being suspicious, free to be joyful without apology, free to be steady without needing the approval of circles that never intended to include you except as a cautionary tale, and I have changed the tale. Now you are the example of preservation, the picture of how quiet reliance triumphs over loud manipulation. I am speaking to the timelines that were disrupted. I am speaking to the years that felt unfruitful. I am speaking to the projects you shelved because resistance felt greater than vision, and I am calling them out of dormancy. I am touching your old notes and making them glow again. I am breathing on ideas that went cold because you were tired of explaining them to people determined not to understand. And I am surrounding you with helpers who will not ask you to shrink the blueprint to fit their comfort, but will widen their shoulders to carry what I gave you at full size, and I will provide resources in ways that make you laugh because the very doors that were used to block you will lead to hallways of provision you did not know existed, and you will say, I did not see this path, and I will answer, I did, and I preserved it for this hour. Do not worry about your name. I will clean it where it has been dirted, I will polish it where it has been dulled, I will attach it to fruit that speaks louder than rumors, and I will teach you to keep your eyes on my name, for my name on you carries weight your name cannot carry alone, and when people search for a reason to accuse, they will find a testimony instead, and when people search for the old version of you, they will meet the one I have been shaping in secret, stronger than yesterday, softer than cynicism, braver than fear, and your humility will not be timidity, it will be steadiness rooted in the knowledge that the God who rescued you at the edge of disaster is the same God arranging the details of your daily bread. I will restore your sleep. You will not keep rehearsing conversations that never happened. You will not keep answering the imagined accusations of imagined judges. You will not keep hearing the click of doors shutting in your head. I will silence the echoes and give you dream rest that carries instructions you wake up remembering. And you will write them, and you will follow them step by step, and you will see how small steps, consistently kept, outpace dramatic leaps that exhaust your soul, and I will teach you to walk with me at an unhurried pace that unnerves those who love chaos, and they will throw stones of urgency at you, but the stones will not bruise, for truth makes you light on your feet and heavy in your purpose. You asked if you should prepare, and I tell you, yes, prepare. Not to fight a battle I already won, but to receive the harvest I already appointed. Prepare by ordering your space, by clearing what you kept, just in case, that is no longer serving you, by setting your papers in order, by gathering the small tools you need to act quickly when doors open, by rehearsing grace so it is ready on your tongue when conversations begin, by writing the lists you have postponed because hope felt fragile. And you will discover that preparation is prophetic, for it declares your expectancy and aligns your minutes with the future I am delivering to your doorstep. The arrest will be a hinge in your story, but it is not your story center. I am, and my story over you is not, they tried and succeeded. It is, they tried and learned that trying to rearrange what I ordain only rearranges their own steps toward consequences they crafted for others, and even there I am merciful, for my mercy calls people back from cliffs, but if they refuse, I will not let their refusal drag you from the path I prepared, and you will learn how to bless with boundaries, how to love without lending your destiny to those who treat it like spare change, how to welcome without losing the keys I entrusted to you, how to be open-hearted and well-guarded, for your heart is a garden, and gardens need fences to flourish, not to keep love out, but to keep thieves from harvesting what they never planted. I am not merely removing a threat, I am installing a testimony, and your testimony will make room for others to believe again, to stand again, to say no to manipulation, to recognize the slow creep of flattery that leads to control, to choose the long road of integrity over the shortcut paved with favors that always ask for pieces of the soul, and you will speak with authority because you bled for this wisdom. And I stood with you in the bleeding, and I clothed you when shame tried to leave you naked in the public square, and now I am clothing you with joy that does not need explanation, with dignity that cannot be borrowed or stolen, with strength that looks like gentleness until resistance arrives and discovers steel underneath the smile. You will not miss your moment. I am the keeper of your moments, I am the arranger of your intersections, I am the Lord of harvest who knows when the field is ready and when the fruit would be sour if picked too early, so trust my timing, even as I accelerate what was crawling, even as I decelerate what was racing to harm you. Trust me when I tell you that you are stepping into days that will feel like redemption in motion. Like the sun standing still long enough for you to finish what you started, like the river reversing to bring back what floated away, and when you feel that holy pressure, that sweetness on the air, that sudden quiet in your spirit before the announcement arrives, remember this moment. I told you first, so you would not be afraid when the news breaks, so you would not gloat when the headlines scream, so you would keep your eyes on me while others are looking at the ground searching for fallen pride. Guard your words in this hour. Some will come to you for details you do not owe, they will pretend concern to extract information, they will mirror your pace to slip into your circle, but you will answer with wisdom and brevity. And you will keep the deeper things for the ones I appoint, and you will practice the art of silence that is not fear but reverence, and in that silence I will fill you with assurances that move your feet without noise. And people will see you advancing and not know how. And I will know, and you will know, and that will be enough. I am the one who holds your days like pages that do not tear, and I am speaking to you now because there are things being moved that your eyes cannot see yet. I have watched every conversation that pretended to be harmless while plotting against you. I have traced every step they took to force your hope into a corner and push your future off the edge. They tried to break the bridge I began to build beneath your feet, but I am the builder of bridges that cannot collapse. Hear me, a shocking arrest is about to happen, and it will not be your undoing, it will be the beginning of your unveiling. Do not be afraid of the sound that change makes when it arrives. Do not be afraid of the suddenness with which truth chooses its moment. I have chosen mine. You thought you were alone when the accusations whispered like insects around your mind at night, but you were never alone. I sat with you in the dim rooms and the tight spaces. I counted the breaths you took to steady yourself when the fog of confusion rolled over your heart. I saw the messages that came dressed as concern but carried knives between their lines. I heard the laughter they tried to bury in closed rooms when they thought no one could read the intention behind their smiles. You asked me, "Do you see this?" And I answered you in the stillness, "Yes, I see, and I record." I have not missed one word, not one glance, not one signature that was placed with a crooked hand. I have kept the ledger that human hands cannot touch. They tried to take your entire future because they despised the seed I planted in you. They tried to smother your voice because it was beginning to sound like the truth I put there. They tried to empty your pockets because they could not stand the generosity I intended to flow through you. They tried to turn your name into a warning when I have always written it as a promise. But the promise is stronger than the warning, and the truth is deeper than their shallow schemes. Do not spend another dawn wondering whether the ground will hold. I have reinforced the ground beneath you with my own word. Earth and sky may shift, but my word over you is granite under your steps. There is a moment approaching when the curtain will pull back. You will hear doors open that you did not touch. You will hear footsteps that you did not summon. Papers will move, voices will change tone, and surprises will begin to stack like bright stones. The one who thought they could walk through life without consequence has reached the limit of a road I never built for them. Do not pray against justice when justice is my kindness to you. Do not pray for vengeance when vengeance is poison disguised as power. Stand still in the knowledge that I am not late. You have longed for a day that you could not imagine. Your imagination was too tired to paint it, but I have been guarding that day behind a veil, waiting for the hour when the impact becomes a blessing instead of another wound. I speak to your heart that aches from being misunderstood. The weariness in your chest, the ache behind your eyes, the tremor in your hands when you think of what might be lost, give that to me now. Place it here. I am not asking for your perfection, I am asking for your permission. Let me lift what you keep lifting. Let me breathe into the places that have forgotten the feeling of fresh air. You have tried to be strong for too long, and strength without rest is simply another name for exhaustion. I did not call you to be a fortress without windows. You are a house with light in it, and I am the flame that does not gutter out. You have asked whether you missed a sign, a sentence, a step that would have protected you from all this trouble. Listen carefully, you did not miss me. Even your detours fell within my sight. Even your moments of silence were prayers I understood. Even the time you believed the wrong voice, I kept you from the worst conclusion. I rerouted harm around you more times than you will ever know in this life. Do not shame yourself for being human while I have never been ashamed to be your God. I am not disappointed in the way you learned. I am only determined to heal what your lessons cost you. And I will. There are angels stationed at your thresholds now. Archangel Michael stands where decision meets doorway, and the sword you cannot see has drawn a circle the enemy cannot cross. This is not a story about fear, this is a story about boundaries that cannot be stolen anymore. It is a story about how I gather the fragments of what was taken and return them with an increase that makes thieves bitter and the faithful brave. Do not shrink your plans to make others comfortable. I am expanding your borders in a way that will expose small hearts only because they chose to be small. You do not need to argue with a closed hand. Keep your hands open. Keep your spirit open. I will fill what you leave open to me. When the news arrives, and it will, do not rush to gloat. Gloating shackles you to the same ground where they fell. Instead, breathe. Sit down. Drink water. Touch the table in front of you and remember it is real. I am with you in the ordinary details because miracles keep their balance best when they stand on simple floors. You will feel a mix of relief and trembling. Trust the relief, let the trembling pass through you without owning it. You are not responsible for carrying the weight of a world I already lifted. Lay it down. I will teach your hands to carry joy again. I am returning opportunities that were quietly confiscated. Invitations you never received will be remade and sent to your name. Conversations from which you were excluded will open like windows on a spring morning, and voices will call you in. What they said about you in rooms meant to remove you will become testimony that showcases my preservation. I am not done with your name. I am polishing it in public. I am putting it on documents that speak of restoration, alignment, and strategic kindness. The doors that slammed shut were never the only doors. I build doors in walls that swore they were seamless. I am correcting timelines. They announced endings I did not sign. They tried to rush your season because impatience is the language of those who fear that goodness might skip them. I am not skipping you. I am anchoring you. What seemed delayed is being delivered on a schedule you will later call perfect, because it will arrive when you are able to sustain it in peace. Peace is not the absence of enemies, peace is the presence of me. And I am present. You cannot be late to what I hold for you, you can only be early in your anxiety. Rest from the early arrival of fear. Come on time with trust. Forgiveness is not permission for repeat harm. Forgiveness is the key that frees your heart from their prison. Keep your boundaries. Speak plainly. Say no without apology when no is holy. Say yes without trembling when yes is what I am breathing into your future. You will not need to explain your healing to people who benefited from your brokenness. They will recognize the difference in your eyes. They will see the light that didn't used to be there and ask for a discount on your soul. Do not sell your peace. Do not bargain your calling. I paid too much for you to go on sale. There is a place where fear has built a nest in you, a corner you avoid because it smells like old disappointment. I am standing there now, gently unweaving the twigs. I am blowing away the dust that made you sneeze tears at inconvenient times. I am speaking into the echo that repeated, "You are not enough," and I am answering that lie with the reality of my presence. You are not merely enough, you are appointed. You are not barely accepted, you are chosen. You are not almost safe, you are protected. Wear these as a garment that fits. It will feel new at first, new garments always do. But soon it will be the clothing you reach for without thinking, the identity you live in even when no one is watching. My child, I have chosen this very moment to speak to you directly, and I am pouring my words into your spirit with urgency, because I see what the enemy has tried to plot in secret places. I see the hands that signed papers, I see the tongues that whispered against you in the darkness, I see the alliances formed in hidden rooms to strip you of your promise, and I see the snare that was laid in order to rob you of the entire future I had destined for you. But hear me clearly, I am God, and I am not mocked, and what they tried to bury shall now be exposed by fire. A shocking arrest is about to happen, and it will shake the very ground beneath their feet, for they touched what belonged to me, and they stretched their hands against the life of one I have marked as chosen. Do not try to skip this message, for it is not chance that your eyes meet these words, it is my Spirit pulling you into revelation so you can understand that I, the Lord, fight for you even when you do not see the battle. The enemy thought he had silenced you. He thought by moving through those close to you, through acquaintances who disguised themselves as helpers but were secretly plotting betrayal, that he could take everything. He thought he could make you stumble so badly that your destiny would collapse. They tried to take your voice, your peace, your finances, your health, even your relationships. They tried to create an arrest not only in the natural but also in the spirit, to lock down your blessings and bind you in chains of delay. But I, the Lord, say no more. The shocking arrest that is coming is not for you, it is for them. It is for the ones who schemed in arrogance. They thought their power was greater than my protection, but I am about to show them that when you belong to me, no weapon forged against you shall prosper. I want you to hear me with trembling, because the hour is serious. What is about to unfold will happen suddenly, and it will happen publicly. A name will be called out, and chains will be placed on wrists that once pointed fingers at you. The one who laughed at your pain will be brought low. The one who mocked your faith will be silenced in shame. The one who tried to write you out of your inheritance will be written into the records of disgrace. A shocking arrest is not just a moment of exposure, it is my justice striking swiftly. It is the turning of tables in your favor. It is the tearing down of strongholds that were built to cage your tomorrow. I will not allow your entire future to be taken from you. My child, you must understand that when I say I am fighting for you, I mean that the unseen army of heaven has already moved into position. Archangel Michael himself has drawn his sword, and he stands guard over your steps, ensuring that not even a shadow of destruction touches you. While they set traps, angels dismantled them. While they whispered curses, angels reversed them into blessings. While they tried to destroy your reputation, I wrote your name in the book of vindication. You may have cried, you may have felt abandoned, you may have even doubted if I still see you, but this message is my proof that I have never turned away. The shocking arrest is not only physical, it is spiritual. Every demonic chain that tried to hold your finances, every witchcraft spell that tried to block your love, every generational curse that tried to silence your progress, is about to be arrested. They will lose their grip completely. They cannot hold you because my hand has marked you for freedom. You will walk out of this season with your head lifted high, carrying evidence of divine vindication. The very people who tried to destroy you will watch you rise. The very ones who plotted your downfall will hear the news of their own downfall. Do not fear when the shaking begins. Do not tremble when you hear the news of what happens to them. I am removing them so that you can be free. You may not have the strength to confront them, but I do. You may not have the resources to fight them, but I own the heavens and the earth. You may not have the voice to silence their lies, but I speak with thunder and every false tongue falls mute. A shocking arrest is coming, and it is my divine intervention to preserve your future. I need you to prepare your heart, because blessings will follow immediately after the shaking. You will see sudden doors open. You will see money flow into your hands that they once tried to block. You will see a divine connection appear that they once tried to destroy. You will see relationships healed and restored that were once poisoned by their lies. You will see favor surround you like a shield, and no one will be able to deny that I, the Lord your God, have done this. They tried to take your entire future, but what they failed to realize is that I am the author of your story. No man can edit what I have already written. No enemy can erase your name from my book of destiny. No accuser can cancel the blessings I have ordained for you. What they meant for evil, I will turn for good, and it will be a testimony that shakes even those who doubted you. The shocking arrest will be the beginning of your new chapter. A chapter of peace, abundance, love, and restoration. Stay watchful, my child.